Hey guys, I am making a... My daughter is here. She's going crazy. I'm making a video today on how I make my version of peach cobbler. I haven't made a video in a few weeks. We've had sickness and a lot of stuff has been going on, but I'm back on track and I'm going to show you all how I make my peach cobbler. I make it a little bit different and it's delicious. So I'm going to go over the ingredients with you. Cobbler, we're going to use frozen peaches, cake mix, Malibu rum, and don't worry, the alcohol will evaporate, and butter. Okay, so we're going to, these are just 4 ingredients for our peach cobbler. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put a stick of butter in the pan. Yes, a stick of butter. This is not a diet this is not a diet dish for sure, but we need that. We need all that juicy butter for the peaches. And I'm gonna use the whole bag. And this is a 2.5 pound bag of peaches. So we're just gonna melt this. And over here in this pan, I'm making something for my daughter. So we're gonna melt this butter before we put all the peaches in there. And the peaches they'll wilt down a little bit. It'll seem like a lot whenever it's in the pan frozen, but they will wilt down quite a bit. And I have the stove like on medium. You don't want to burn your butter. And when it's just about done, when it's just about melted, I'll go ahead and put the peaches in here. It's a beautiful day today. And I haven't made a video in a few weeks. There's been a lot going on. Okay, so I'm going to put my peaches in here. Be careful not to burn yourself. Just kind of drop them in. See, it seems like a lot, but they will wilt down. They'll get mushy. And I'm going to raise the heat a little bit since the peaches are frozen. And I'm going to sprinkle a little sugar on top of these. Just about maybe a 1/4 cup of sugar or so. We're just going to let them cook a little bit. And I'm going to go ahead and put my Malibu rum. And I have about a cup in here, but I'm just going to put about 1/2 cup of Malibu rum. And this is the coconut rum. And I'm going to cover it. I'm going to cover it so that it'll simmer. I'm making café con leche for my daughter, which is milk with espresso coffee. It's really good. I'll make a video on that for you guys too. Not right now though. See, these are starting to melt, and you're gonna get a lot of juice from these peaches. Between the butter, the Malibu rum, and the peaches, you're gonna get a delicious syrup. And the alcohol evaporates, so you don't have to worry about that. It'll just leave a really nice flavor behind. So I'm gonna let this cook for a minute. It'll probably take about 10 minutes or so for it to really melt down. And then I'll bring you right back. You can see how much this has kind of come down. It kind of wilts a little bit, but you can see all that syrup that it has generated, and that's the syrup that we're going to put over the cake mix to cook it. It is so good. You guys are going to love this dish. And you know, you can cook it down as much as you want to, or if you like a little bit more texture to your fruit, maybe you don't want to cook it as long. This has been cooking at medium heat for about 10 minutes. And I'm going to probably put it in the pan here in a couple of minutes. And I like to use frozen peaches versus canned peaches. I rarely use anything canned. Canned products have preservatives, and I don't know. I just don't trust canned products as much. When you use frozen fruit or berries or whatever, you know they're picked at their peak and they're frozen right away. So it's honestly the freshest fruit. And when things are not in season, I usually buy frozen. I just feel better about buying frozen. And it's just the fruit. You know, I don't believe there's any preservatives. I'm not sure. I haven't really read the thing, but to me it feels like it's better than canned. I mean, look at this. It's like a regular natural peach. It's awesome, and you don't have to peel it. You don't have to take the pit out. It's awesome. All right, so I'm gonna put it together here in a minute. I'll show you what I do to put it together. This is going to be my pan that I'm gonna put it in. And I just want to put the peaches in there for now. I don't want the juice yet. So I'm going to take this slotted spoon and I'm just going to drain my peaches as I put them in. Don't worry, there'll be juice, but I just want to make sure I put the amount of juice that I want to put in. That looks so good. And this is kind of a deep dish. It's not a very wide dish, but it's pretty deep. And I'm going to put some of the juice in here with the peaches, about half of it, and then half of the juice on top of the cake mix. So you're going to be sure to have a delicious, delicious peach cobbler. Turn that stove off, because that's going to continue to cook and boil. I want it to boil down just a little bit so that it concentrates the flavors some. So now I'm going to take my cake mix, and you can use any cake mix. You don't have to use any specific brand. My favorite cake mix to use for the peach cobbler is the Jiffy cake juice. But I couldn't get it. So now I'm going to take some of this juice and I'm going to put it in here with my peaches. Okay, I realized that I put my cake mix, but I'm going to go ahead and put some in the corner here like this, because I do want some juice down where the peaches are. So I'm just going to put it in the corners and sneak it in there. And then the rest of this juice is going to go on top of that cake mix. Okay, and I use the whole thing. I use the whole cake mix. When I use the Jiffy cake mix, I will normally use two of the cake mixes. Kind of just wiggle it to kind of even everything out. Push it in some. And then all of this is going to go on top of this cake mix. It's so good. Don't worry about the mess. Just keep pushing it in as you put the syrup on top of the cake mix. Just keep pushing it in some so that it mixes. And you're going to have your oven set at 350. Pretty much the directions on the cake mix. So you're going to have it at 350 and you're going to bake it just until the cake mix is golden brown and bubbly. Okay, so I'm going to clean my edges. Because I don't want any of this syrup and cake mix to burn on the sides of my pan. So just make sure that you can clean your edges well. And I'm gonna put it in the oven at 350 for about 45 minutes or so, or until golden brown. Each oven is going to be different depending on your altitude. So just, you know your oven, you're going to set it for 30 minutes, 45 minutes, sometimes even an hour. But just watch your cake mix till it's golden brown. And we'll see you in a bit. I'll show you the end result. Cobbler, just fresh out of the oven. It's still bubbly. It's I put it in on top of another pan because it was so full that I was afraid it was going to overflow a little bit. And it did. The syrup overflowed just a little bit. But this is such a good cobbler. A little bit of vanilla ice cream or whatever that you want to eat it with. But I love it just like this. The crust is super, super moist and just delicious. I hope you try this recipe and you enjoy it as much as we do. You have a wonderful day.